Okay, we'll get started. We'd like to welcome Adam Scott into the interview room here at the BMW Championship. Adam, I know you'll appreciate me saying you're the only player in the field who played here at Bellerive at the 2008 BMW Championship and also the 2018 PGA Championship. So if we can get some comments on being back at Bellerive and specifically what you remember about 2018 when you were in the final pairing with Brooks there on that Sunday.
No questions from Doug today. It's amazing that was 2018. Pretty fresh in my memory, really, probably because I played well that week. So happy to be back. The course feels pretty familiar to me. And actually remember quite a few of the good shots I hit that week. It was fun to be in the mix at a major championship. So, try and carry those positive vibes in my mind into play this week, and a lot for me to play for here as well, going into trying to make the Tour Championship next week.
All right, great. We'll go right into questions. If you'll raise your hand, we'll get a microphone to you.
I think Doug started it.
Yeah, we'll start with you, though, Doug.
How significant would playing next week be to you at this stage in your very ancient career, apparently?
Gosh, you're on fire today. Look, it's one of those things that throughout my career, making the Tour Championship has always been important. It's always been a marker of your performance throughout the year. Certainly comes, for me now at this point in my career, the exemptions that grants you are valuable. As I've found myself more often over the last few years, trying to get myself qualified for everything. So that would be great going into next year, but also even just making it next week, the way that a tournament works, to win the Tour Championship a second time would be really big at this point in my career, Doug.
All right, let's go to Mitchell in the back and then Paul.
Adam, as someone with your experience here at Bellerive, what do you see standing on the par 3 sixth tee, and what's the challenges of that hole?
Well, the length is really the challenge. I mean, a long par 3 with water on the right, it's kind of probably a right-hander's nightmare. It might be tough for a left-hander as well, but, hitting a long iron with water on the right, you have to be very accurate, and it probably is one of the smaller greens on the property too. So I think yesterday it was like 225 in practice and one of the smaller greens. So there's a lot of demand, especially runoff, kind of long left. It's not a great bailout when you can't go right. So it requires just to take aim and hit a great shot.
All right, let's go to Paul in the back and then Jack.
You've maintained a really solid approach season, at least statistically. What has kind of been the keys or some of the stuff you've been working on with your swing to kind of keep that, among the elite in the game?
I think, I kind of started fiddling around with my equipment a couple years ago. I've played a fair few sets of irons, but I finally found a set of irons last year, about 12 months ago now, that I really liked. I think that consistency of kind of sticking to one thing was helpful, obviously, but, I decided it was worth the risk to look around, and so that's been really solid. You've got to be careful when you start looking at technical things. I decided to look. I would say I fixed a little bit of my left knee movement in the swing earlier in the year. I don't think about it as much now. I think that was my focus earlier in the year. I don't look at my swing very much during the season, but I think that theme has carried on. So I've been consistent in equipment and consistent in my theme of swing thought all year. I think that's what's really helped me improve my approach play.
And just one other one. We saw that Siwoo was officially confirmed on the International President's Cup team, one of your top players. Just wondering what he's like in a team room and if you've seen him kind of grow in comfortability in those settings over the years.
For sure, yeah. I mean, he's had a great year, incredibly consistent. You know, the best player on our team this year. And he's going to take like a leading role for sure at the President's Cup. I think this might be his 4th President's Cup. And, you know, he's a lot of fun. He's a bit of a character. I think everyone's seen some of that character come out in whether it's social media or other clips online this year. He's a lot of fun. He likes to have fun, but as we've also seen in the President's Cup, he's a really tough competitor. He's not messing around out there. So I love having him in great form and being one of the leaders of the team.
All right, in the middle, let's go Jack and then Dave.
Kind of on that note with the irons, over the last year you've started experimenting, it seems like, with using a short putter in competition a couple of times. Is that something you're still fiddling around with? I know you practice with one, is that correct? And what prompted that?
I've always kind of messed around in practice with the short putter. I don't think I've used a short putter in competition this year. I did at the end of last year, but I've been putting well with the longer putter, especially the last couple of weeks. It was a bit inconsistent earlier in the year, and that's why I was fiddling around with the short one, just trying to ignite something on the greens, you know, just searching like we do when it's not going the way we want. But Memorial, stats-wise at Memorial and the Open and last week, my putting's great. So I think I'm on the uptick there, maybe at the right time of year.
All right, right here, Dave.
Adam, what are your goals the next couple of years for yourself personally, and also would that include what's coming up at Medina to, get a win for the international team?
Yeah, I think right now the President's Cup is the top of the list, really. It's one of those things that, I don't know, 2 years out is hard to picture at this point. So this for me is a big one. Obviously, I'm looking to play well this week and kind of lock my place up on the team, and then look forward to Medina and hopefully kind of break this streak that the internationals have been on. Then outside of that, back to where we started with Doug. I mean, getting myself into a great position next year where I'm kind of having the schedule on my own terms, I think will be good for me starting the year, and I can plan accordingly and probably do a little better job of scheduling myself to be ready for the big events. I mean, all events matter, and all events, I would love to get back in the winner's circle, number one, but I'd love to get in to the winner's circle in some big events. But there's a process to do that. Just winning something would be great.
There's been some discussion today with Rory and Scotty about whatever the potential future is for Live Golf. How do you reintegrate, or do you try to reintegrate certain players, all the players, whatever? Where do you come down on how you see that maybe unfolding, or what would you like to see as far as getting key guys back, or anybody?
Well, I mean, it's firstly up to what happens on their side of things, whether there's live going on, whether they're playing or not playing. And, I think we've seen there is a pathway for guys, although Brooks had an opportunity, and Patrick Reed looks like he's going to take his opportunity through the DP World Tour.
Right.
So I think there will be opportunities to reintegrate if guys choose to not participate in Live going forward.
Should it be easy, though, or not very easy?
I don't know what defines easy or not easy to you. So
Tougher than what Brooks faced with paying $5 million and, not necessarily having
I
full
think
status.
I think it needs to be fair. I mean, it's a complicated question to answer. The PGA Tour needs to protect its own membership, but I think the PGA Tour also knows that there needs to be pathways, so it'll be fair.
All right, let's go Dan right here and then far right.
Adam, go back to putting. If I said to you, there's a lot of great ball strikers on the PGA Tour, but there's not nearly as many great putters on the PGA Tour, would you agree with that statement? And if you agree with that, why do you think that's true?
That there are great ball strikers on tour and not great putters?
There's not as many great putters on. There's a lot of great ball strikers on the tour, but if you put together a list of the great putters, that's not nearly going to be as long a list.
I'm not sure I agree with that.
Okay, that's the question.
Yeah. I wouldn't. I'm not saying it's the opposite, but I don't see it lopsided like that.
That's good.
All right, Adam, let's go over far right over here.
Hi, Adam. Rory was in there earlier. He mentioned some through lines that he's noticed between a lot of the recent venues chosen to host this championship. As someone who's had repeated success at the BMW, would you agree with that? And do your past successes, even in addition to 2018 at Castle Pines and Wilmington, would they give you additional confidence heading into this week?
I just missed the start. Rory saw
He noticed some through lines between a lot of the venues.
through lines
as in common themes between some of the courses.
for the BMW.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess there are. Even going back to Cog Hill, I mean, similar kind of things. Big golf courses, I guess. But in fairness, I think BMW put on great championships. It's a big build out. They feel like big important events, so maybe they need a bit of that as well. And here's no different. Yeah, I mean, some of the courses suit me, but you still have to play good on the week. There's so many great players. We all figure out golf courses fairly quickly these days, but it is nice coming back to a course that you've played before and have some good experience on.
All right, let's go right here and then Doug.
Hi, Adam. We only get to host you guys here every 8 to 10 years in St. Louis. What do you remember about the atmosphere in 2018 and just kind of how much you embrace how fired up this community and this crowd is going to be tomorrow and how it was?
Yeah, good memories. Obviously, playing late on Sunday was huge. Tiger really featuring any time in a tournament gets everyone fired up, even more so than just being here. So 2018 was a great memory for me, even though it didn't really work out exactly how I wanted, but a lot of good vibes. And coming here, pulling in Monday, just seeing the build out got me excited for the week. It's a huge build out and made me realize this is really important to the community here, and seeing it sold out and how many people are expected to be out here should be a fun week to play.
All right, Doug.
As long as you've played and traveled the world, what is the one golf course you haven't played that you want to?
There are lots. There are lots. In the States, I've wanted to play Sand Hills in Nebraska for the longest time and haven't played it, but there are a lot of others I haven't played in the States as well. And probably Roald Dornoch in Scotland. They're kind of at the top of my list. Very busy. Yeah.
Right.
I didn't say that.
Anything else? Are we all good? Adam Scott, thank
Thanks.
you, sir.
Thanks.
Appreciate it.